Hello everyone. I'm about to react to the BBC's version of Prince Caspian, which I'm very excited to see what it's like. Because Language of the Wardrobe, I at least was slightly familiar of, and um, um, yeah, and yeah, just really seeing how it varies compared to the trilogy. Um, so yeah, that was a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm just as interested in this one, but unlike Witch of the Wardrobe, this one will be totally fresh. Yeah, just really just yeah, because yeah, I just have no idea what's going to happen. Better get my stuff ready. Hang on. Yep, and as always, we'll do adaptation differences afterwards. So looking at the information, this one is a lot shorter. It's only it's like less than an hour, I think, when I last had a look. So if it's that short, then okay, we'll see what it's like. In the trilogy, there were a lot of lengthy battle scenes. So yeah, I feel like if they were like dramatically trimmed, then maybe it goes back to that level. I'm not sure. Anyway, so if you've got your copy ready, etc., and we'll go in 3, 2, 1, go. Just better check they're working. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's okay. So it should have the introduction again with the the title sequence and going over the map. And it looks, is it me or does that look like the same one? I'm not sure. So yeah, if this is book accurate, despite how massively shorter it is, yeah. Alright, so that's the train station. Oh yeah, definitely a lot less crowded. Are those the kids? Oh no, it's just a whole load. Oh, I know. No, I think. Who's who? I look like there's a lot more kids. Oh wow, they're all aged quite a bit. So they're still in disbelief about the whole royalty things. Peter's not really thinking about them. Okay, we'll see how they explore that. Oh my gosh, they address Eustace. Oh my gosh. So if this is like more novel accurate, then there's already set up with some characters before seeing them. That's neat. Oh, is this Narnia? I presume so. Oh my gosh, is that the Marines? Yeah, their costumes, they look good, despite the budget. Although we just kind of just snap straight into it, there isn't like any dramatic entrances. Oh, that is the uncle, yeah, because in the original novel he's already crowned, isn't he? Unless that's Caspian the Ninth. Kim Raz, yes, so yeah, that's the uncle already crowned. So is that Caspian then? Been in jail, so looks like he hasn't gone out and about much, to which, okay. More. Oh no, is that the same queen as, I presume so. Old days, that will be referring to, before all of they and them came about. Yeah, so Miraz is like, oh no, you don't think about that at all because all of that's past and you're old enough not to, go, for fairy tales. So yeah, this is a lot more of a tame relationship compared to the film. Because yeah, the tension was just rising. They were pointing swords at each other, but in this case, uh, oh, okay, looks like the uncle is started to become a bit more fearsome. But yeah, he definitely has like enough confidence and intimidation to control the situation. Yeah, it looks like Caspian is they definitely is like unable to talk back to him. The nurse. Oh yeah, I remember that reading that in the adaptation, similarities and differences. And that's the professor, isn't it? Oh yeah, and of course in the original novel was Caspian long younger like the other kids when the film made him slightly older. Right, so what the so if this is like the professor and he knows all of this educational bits and bobs, would he be teaching Caspian all sorts? Oldness is sent away. Okay. So was the nurse more of the Narnia fan and the professor's like more stern because he's was just telling Caspian not to like think too much about it. He's almost like Caspian's educator, I think. Oh, and is this okay? Is this like the moment where Caspian has to escape? A lesson in astronomy. What is this like a different way of explaining the there will be escaping? Conjunction. Does that mean like the clash between the Tamarines and Narnians? If he's mentioned 200 years, yeah, it's a long time. Oh, okay, so the professor did take Caspian out too. As if you can see, well, maybe in Narnia, do you see the planets more clearer? I can imagine that being the case. So, yeah, I guess it does explore a bit of what the astrology is like in Narnia. Would be, I can see it being different to Earth. Time to know. Oh, okay, so now the professor's being like, oh, I'll tell you all sorts of bits and bobs. Country of Aslan. Does that mean the separate island that was a mystery in the Dawn Treader as part of the trilogy? Oh, okay. But I don't think that was the case at all in the in the trilogy. So he's not fully human. So I guess that explains more of his knowledge. Yeah, because in the trilogy you could just infer that he was just researching. And but yeah, I do have to say, I do kind of like how a lot of it was simplified in the trilogy. Just having it all be the professor and have the nurse out of the story. But in here, they have already had the nurse, and apparently she's been kicked off for, I don't know, referring to Narnia too much, and the professor's kind of carries on that anyway. So yeah. Oh, so Caspian's now back to bed. So yeah, he's just been woken up for a quick lesson. To which, like, fair enough, as if he needed to go to bed earlier. But I don't know, why not like shift like your own morning and night time, that way instead of having like wake up in the middle of the night. Yeah, sorry, that's a bit lengthy. Oh my gosh, so I think the professor is talking about Baslar's country, the same one I thought about. And then is that him again sword fighting? Oh my gosh, for a second I thought the professor was um the knight in training. Oh no, there he is. Choreography's not too bad. Oh, yeah, there's a couple of bits and bobs I like. Yeah, even if it's older and low budget, it's still like somewhat impressive. Yeah, why is he smiling? Oh, that was a dream. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering why the uncle was smiling then. Yeah, because yeah, the poor lad's waking up again. So maybe the astronomy thing should have like happened later in the day instead of being like, wake up, and now it's a good time to see all of this, and only to be like, oh, you got to get up again because this has happened. Okay, so they've had the baby off screen, Miraz and the wife, and so yeah, that's played out in a similar way. Oh gosh, the professor just dropped that ball on him. Okay, yeah, so the professor is definitely outlining that he, due to his age, etc., cannot go with Caspian. Although I think maybe the father was just talked about like a couple of minutes ago in this adaptation, but um, yeah, it didn't quite have a lot of weight. Like, granted, Caspian did have a somewhat genuine reaction, but um, yeah, there wasn't really much of a build up. You know, the trilogy kind of made more of an effort on that way. All right, so he also explained the rules of the horn earlier, and the talk about magic as well. Oh, those are the fireworks. Oh, so that. Oh, okay, so it's to celebrate the newborn. Okay. So I wonder if it's going to be a um, if all of that was. I'm not sure because yeah, I don't think the fireworks were ever explained to be like that in the trilogy, so that makes more sense. Yeah, because I had all sorts of ridiculous guesses, especially when I was younger. Okay, so Caspian going. So it looks like the celebration was way more in the forefront at the point where yeah, Caspian doesn't look like he's been chased by anyone. So yeah, it's kind of done in like in a montage, one that's like quite whimsical. So it also seems to be a bit more like light on his feet. Okay, he's in danger, surrounded by lightning, but oh my gosh, that was the danger of him throw off the horse then. Okay, he's knocked out, I think. But yeah, I think Caspian should have been a bit more um, like sad because he's learned that he was going to get get rid of by Miraz and um, yeah, and the newborn as well, and what also happened to Caspian the Ninth. So yeah, hopefully that will carry over, but we'll see what it's like once he starts to wake up. Also, I really like that Badger costume, by the way. So some of them earlier were like, "Oh, should we get rid of him?" But they were like, "No, let's keep him alive." So yeah, it's just done more in a basic way. I think the trilogy also kind of expanded upon for why to keep him alive or not. Yeah, one of them's not been taken yet, just like the trilogy, so it's definitely the three of them sharing the tree, which is nice to see what the three of them like together, even if Caspian's new to all of them. Okay, so he was being confrontational, but Caspian is like, no, not going back there. So anytime soon, Caspian will be more on their side, and the others will be being a bit more friendly towards him. So the badger there is he's um yeah, he's just outlined about how the humans and Narnians are probably more similar than we all think, which yeah, we'll see how if they expand on that idea. So so Caspian believes in Aslan despite never seeing him at all. Wait, Caspian's a king? No, no, of course not. No, there must have been talk about like King Caspian like a month somewhere. So now they're out. It's presumably the following. Oh my gosh, they got a they got a centaur. Oh my gosh, I managed to achieve something like that in the 80s. I don't know if this is like very cheap VFX work or if they did manage to create some kind of practical four legs somewhere. I think earlier was definitely animated or using the green screen. Oh, so Caspian's just been given some armor, so centaurs have magical abilities apparently. Being given others armor. Okay, so now Caspian's going to ride on the centaur. Okay. Yeah, I've got the right creature named, didn't I? Okay, so are they going to be taken to where the rest of the Narnians are at? To which, okay. I feel like I could see like a partial effect between the man and the horse because it looks like a general horse movement. Yeah, wow, that's actually quite impressive to do back then. So Caspian seems to be quite excited seeing all of them about, although I bet he's going to find out what more about the status quo, because in the trilogy when Caspian came about, everyone was blitzing him, but he was like, no, I am definitely on your side. Kind of treated the situation quite seriously, but as a younger Caspian there, he seems to be somewhat excited, now that he seems to be safe with them for now. Oh, someone's sneaking about among us. Where's the oh gosh, no. Where is the? No, God, I've got the term. Yeah, I haven't watched much of that game really. He's very keen on battling, isn't he? Yeah, he's a very obvious trait. I'm interested in seeing more of what he's like. Oh my gosh, it's Cornelius. So yeah, with Caspian around, we'll be able to clarify that he's fine. So yeah, that's a different twist. And Cornelius is already part of the Narnia camp. This early. Oh, so now he's telling Caspian to move again. So it seems to be there's this weird story thing where they're like, oh, do this, and then later on, oh, do it again. It doesn't quite help the structuring because there's a couple of things being repeated. Okay, so they're already going for the idea of fighting back. To which, yeah, it's so yeah that also is early. Yeah, there's a lot of bits and bobs that happen like way earlier in this compared to the film. Like, it's good to be efficient. Um, maybe this could be seen as like the more efficient adaptation, but at the same time, we are spending a lot of time with Caspian, and the four, kings and queens haven't even come about yet. It does manage to have like a different vibe to which I quite like. Um, yeah, that too is just different. So um, after a day, wow, yeah, the Tomrys are really settled quickly with the tents in that. Okay, and this is my first time watching, by the way. Yeah, I thought I should have clarified. So this is just as fresh to me than as well as to you lot. So were they? So yeah, I bet they were trying to move to a different destination, and then ended up crossing over with the Telmarine camp, and now they're battling. We'll see what that's like. I'm gonna try and high quality picture. Yeah, see that works. So the Telmarines are probably winning. Yeah, because there's no animated creatures. They're able to fight a bit more freely, you know, with no animated bits and bobs to worry about. Um, um, yeah, if it looks and feels like a rougher battle. Okay, so it looks like yeah, with it being an ambush, so the badger's like, oh, you know, Caspian, I got you, we'll get going. Oh wow, that's a bit of a hard cut. Now they've just gone back to battle, and the badger's trying to. Oh no, oh, there's more badgers. Okay. Okay, so looks like the if the Narnians made it fine, I did. Who won more so than the other? Well, it would most likely be like the Marines having a bit more leverage in the fight earlier. This is oh yeah, this is weirdly paced from time to time. More definitely in this section anyway, because we just had like a super hard cut earlier where I thought they were going to be leaving the battle, but no, it looks like it's got back later on. Now I can guess what this scene's going to be, although we'll wait to see first. Oh, actually, it looks like are they? Oh my. Oh, okay, so now they're exploring the old castle, so it looks like they're gonna see through their stuff. So that um, it does showcase more of their lifestyle. You know, these little bits and bobs. Orders. So yeah, it's Caspian seen as the like the leader. Okay, so now the horn is being used. So this is horn now being used in so that the horn's been saved until the castle. Okay, so this looks a bit odd. So oh, looks like time is frozen. No, it's not frozen. It's just them. But I think they'll just come back and everything's normal. Oh no, it is just frozen. Okay, but you know they just got teleported in the middle of the forest, so that's different. So yeah, the train is yeah. So this is yeah, just it's just a different like it's yeah like a transit no a teleportation that you know is not definitely not accounted for by those on Earth, but the destination on the other side of the teleporter is different. So let's see what they are like. So they're around a garden and a castle, which means they might have. If this is like the same castle, being like so I'm repeating a lot. Oh, I think Lucy knows something's up. So if they're above there and the others are down there, like Caspian, they might meet each other. Well, they have to, you know that's how the trilogy went. So yeah, I think now they're recognising it as the castle, the same one. Or for like they should have heard that. Oh yeah, either side. Right, so let's see what they come across. They might come across their stuff actually, you know, like the chest and that. Oh yeah, looks like a place full of our items. More than gifts, it's your stuff. So it's only been 1 year for them. Ah, so that's an interesting point. So even Edmund's like, well, you never know. The time traveling could have been a lot faster. Now it's just yeah, covering all the bits and bobs. Okay, how did Susan lose it? Like, granted, the trilogy didn't really have an answer, you know, why the horn was. Oh no, the horn was buried. Of course it was, you know, to try and hide it. But even then, you know, how did Susan try and lost it in the first place? That feels a bit irresponsible. Oh, yeah, so now they're questioning why they've been teleported here now. Oh, okay, so now this is, yeah, Trumpkin, isn't it? So, yeah, looks like he was, oh, wait, no, hang on. He was down, at the castle with the others, but did he, like, leave and then get caught? Is that what happened? We'll see what the answers say. So one's down, and oh yeah, just like the just like the trilogy, the other guard bailed off the boat just like that. The good thing is that Trunkin wasn't, like in the water. Yeah, I don't think any of these actors would have wanted to get in a dirty river like this. Although in the trilogy, I think a fake pool would have been used, to look like that they were, in the river. Oh, so with what Edmund said, now Trumpkin's going to be like, oh, you're the kings and queens. But yeah, he seems to be quite cynical of them. Yeah, for a second, yeah, because Trumpkin was kind of like put in the background, but, oh, is this a flashback? Oh no, no, oh, no, it's just a practice, like they did in the trilogy, but they've just gone for a whole new different area. But is this like going back to the castle? Like, where's the others? Unless the others just only spoke about the castle and they're probably at that underground area, like the trilogy. I keep saying that a lot, don't I? Careful, Lucy, don't keep using all of it. It's a tiny bottle. Maybe it does like refill on its own, like in Thor Ragnarok. Okay, that was a really paced practice fight between them. Oh, so Aslan's vaguely there, so that's why Lucy's like, oh wait, I can see him. Maybe that was the case in the trilogy, but it's a tad more blatant here, and that's where. Oh, so it's going back to that aspect of they're going back to the idea of Lucy not always being believed. Although I guess the trilogy kind of did that too, but we'll see how this one does. Yeah, so I feel like Lucy's get a bit isolated by the others. Okay, so basically they were like, oh, this way or that way, and Lisa's like, oh, how about this other direction because of Aslan, disappearing just then. Although, will this adaptation account for why Aslan, only Lucy could see him? So if that other route is going to be like dangerous, then okay, well, will they encounter? Yeah, even that was a bit more argumentative, yeah, compared to the trilogy, whether Lucy saw Aslan or not. So that's a change I kind of prefer here, almost, yeah, because it's treated more seriously. Oh, no, there's a danger. What's the danger? Oh, Telmarines, of course. Yeah, what did I think it was anything else? So they all have arrows, so yeah, they could be getting them at any time. Or what's their shots going to be like? Oh, well, they're hitting them. Oh, sorry, I'm very worn out. Oh, did they? I found the hiding spot really quickly. Lucky enough, the Telmarines didn't think to duck. Okay, so now they're moving, they're like, Una will stay down and keep quiet, to which, yeah, that's sensible. Wait, hang on, have the others been updated, who the Tamarines are in that? Maybe I might have missed something, but I don't know, it's just I feel like that's the first time they've heard of Miraz. So I really hope they didn't skip that reaction of, this is why the status quo is the way it is. So nobody's woken up, unless it's a dream again. And are they by the wall, like that cliff face that Lisa saw earlier? Are they by then? So shot of the trees. Oh, is that magic coming from the trees too? Probably. So Lucy's in awe about it. Oh, there he is. Oh, and even the animated bits and bobs were forming a tree. So yeah, I think it's all about the trees coming back in movement after the four kings and queens coming about. So Lucy's explained how she saw him but not the others. Although what did Aslan talk about not being there for long? Old Narnia will be renewed. Oh yeah, so just going back to the almost like the status quo. So yeah, we'll see how that plays it off. What will happen to the Tamarines? Is it me, or did Aslan seem a bit elderly, the way he was lying down? So are they going to age him up a bit? To which, yeah, I'm fascinated to see how that goes. Oh, there he goes, coming in and out. And yeah, only she can see it. Yeah, because unless the trilogy did something far more subtle, and this seems to be more clearer for why Lucy keeps seeing him, and they're using that way more, as they're travelling about. And I think what happened earlier was also Lucy dreaming. Yeah, the kids are now moaning about how much they've walked and that. To which, how long have... Oh, yeah, they're at their cliff face now. Yeah, with Aslan appearing more often, it feels more like reassurance, being like, yes, this is the right way. Oh, what's this glow? Oh, he's appeared all in front of them. So yeah, they all seem to be pleased to see him. Although, what's he going to say? Yeah, I feel like after the four of them, only Lucy's been given the most amount of substance. With Pete having like a good couple of comments, but Susan and Edmund have essentially been given like nothing story wise. I hope they do something with them. So yeah, Trunkin is it was a bit startled by Aslan, and okay, so why is he getting levitated? Because yeah, that was what the comparison said between the book versus the film, where Trunkin doesn't believe in Aslan, but now he sees him, he's like, oh wow, so he is real then. Not to mention Aslan's also way more in the forefront in this version compared to the trilogy already. Which, yeah, I think that I prefer too. Although it hasn't, but it's not explained. Yeah, as I was saying, yeah, it hasn't explained. Yeah, why the four of them have like why wouldn't they called earlier if the Tomaris have been overruling what Aston's been doing all of this time. So yeah, there might be answers later. We'll just wait and see. Alright, so there's more animated bits and bobs, presumably come from the trees. Sorry, that's my alarm. And then yeah, I think this is going back to the underground settlement. Have they yeah, they didn't, but they're not worried about Trumpkin. They haven't talked about him yet. So yeah, he seems to be, still skeptical of Caspian. Yeah, quite. Yeah. And not to mention, the Badgers also has more of a role in this compared to the trilogy as well, because in the original, in the trilogy, yeah, the Badger was kind of like put aside way after the introduction, but yeah, he seems to be around more often, which is good. Yeah, and he does have a lot of characteristics. So these the two foes representing the witch. And, over one of them on Caspian's team. He seems to be pleased to see them, but yeah, Caspian doesn't know what to make of this. Yeah, even Cornelius doesn't know what to make of this either. So yeah, so with the White Witch's goons about, yeah, how well will they play this adaptation? Well, how will they play that scene in this version? But once again, both teams are separated still. Because in the book, it was talk about how Susan and Lucy were absent from the rest of the team for quite some time, something like that. And then this is repeating some of the same lines as the trilogy. Yeah, it must be. Yeah, because a lot of yeah, because it will be coming from the book, won't it? I felt like this is the only line I can recognise from the film. Yeah, it looks like the guy in the costume is yeah, he seems to be doing well with the monologue. Yeah, it's like whilst I like those lines, he's only in this scene, so it's like quite a lot of emphasis for someone who isn't going to be in there for the rest of the story. Oh, no, they're coming down. So yeah, they're just caught in the middle of this situation. Also now the witch has been mentioned. So yeah, with it being like such a long time ago, um, okay, so that's one reason why he would be on the witch's side. Oh, so Caspian's quite forthright. One of the badges on Caspian's side too, to which I can, because someone understand why he's kind of shown to be against the witch. Yeah, so everything with the witch constantly meant to be mentioned, yeah, the likes of Peter is getting a bit sceptical and arming himself. Yeah, so that's most likely animated too. Oh gosh, is that the wolf's abilities? Wow, okay. Oh, it's another rolling, but they're about to be outmatched. And all of them are going to be like, what's all of this then? Although, what's happening now? I just feel like some people were pardoned on. Oh no, he's gone. That explains why they're all piled on top of one another. Oh, he's gone too. That Narnia went very quickly, but it was like too dark to see what was going on. But I suppose making it brief is the point. So then they're all meeting each other, and they seem to have quite a nice greeting here. Oh, okay. Wait, Lucy, they're peeling stuff quickly. Oh my gosh, that's a giant. How did they manage to implement that? And also, if he's around, he must have had to sit down a load of times, to be around for 100, like more than 100 years. Managed to hide himself away from the Tomarines. But yeah, the Tomarines just watched this dragon come by and they don't see a bit of spooks. So the Tamarine soldiers, they're having a bit of a chat. Probably having a chat about, their place in all of this, and yeah, they talk about the land, and without the king. Okay. So they're not too keen on Miraz then. So it looks like there's some soldiers that aren't too into the cause. Okay, so like the trilogy, they've just sent to come along, send a message. Is this where they're going to duel with one another? Not to mention Miraz is far more in the background in this adaptation too. Oh, he snatched the letter. So, yeah, I bet Miraz didn't believe the letter first, but now he's reading this. So yeah, they haven't. Well, actually, yeah, they have had a couple of run-ins. So yeah, it looks like they're having this duel before things go too far. But yeah, in the trilogy, things went a lot further before having this duel idea. So yeah, he seems to be. Oh yeah, he's into it immediately. Yeah, because the trilogy had the other characters being like, "Oh, maybe not." Oh, but there is tradition in that. So yeah, I think we should partake in the duel. But it looks like he's all into it, and now just having a chat with the soldiers about it. Oh, okay, so now they're like, Peter could be, quite a decent combatant to try and go for him, but Miraz looks like he's not budging. So yeah, Miraz doesn't seem to like being spoken down by the soldiers. Yeah, evidently not. So they're like, maybe don't do this, but Miraz is like, no, I am doing this. So yeah, that's definitely different from the film. So Miraz might be low. Oh yeah, it does seem to be a bit scared of this upcoming duel, which is quite different because in the trilogy, Miraz was definitely the possible. Oh yeah, of course he would be the more experienced one. But yeah, he's not letting the fear get to him. But yeah, he's definitely accepting. Yeah, so they tried to have a debate about it. Although I think the trilogy did it more brief, to which many months ago it's just different. So Caspian is now in a wrist, in a his arm's not very good, so that's just strapped up. But yeah, hopefully they did. But hang on, would Lucy's liquid help regenerate Caspian then if his arm's in a I don't know the term. So Peter had a quick chat with Rip Cheap. Yeah, that wasn't the case in the trilogy. So Miraz is about to fight a kid. Yeah, I quite like the armor. Yeah, despite the budget. All right, so let's see how they will fight one another. Oh wow, they're both sides are like really distinct as well. Okay, so okay, yeah, Peter's now dodging. Oh, he's just fallen over. So they're chanting on both sides. Oh, Peter, you might want to keep your guard up. No, what are you doing going outside of the circle? Although it's just, oh no! So now Peter's just caught himself within the camp, destroying a table. Now they're on the opposite side of the tent. I can. Oh, I don't know. This makes Peter dad more cowardly if he's like trying to run from the fight like that, and he keeps running despite going for an advantage. And the way he used the butt of the sword against Miraz just then, yeah, I think it was the angle of, and also how close Miraz was. Oh my god, Peter's completely trashing the place. And Miraz is like, what are you doing? Running away from this battle. This is meant to be our duel. And now the poor crowd is like having to try and follow them. Oh, Peter nearly went down then. All boys quickly disarmed. Oh, and Miraz is just got stabbed. Well, yeah, that's just what's happened. Oh yeah, now Miraz can't see. I can't see his eyes through his helmet. It's probably a bit cockeyed at the moment. Oh, so now, so now both armies are just fighting now. Okay. Oh yeah, we did see one of the things fall over. Yeah, one of the torches. So yeah, now that's set fire to one of the tents. Although I feel like that was a tad delayed, but could be going for a real time. Oh, there you go. There's the giant. Oh, so now Peter, is he? Oh no, that's just one of the soldiers. Okay, now he's down, but Peter might have taken him down. All Caspian still doing well despite only having one arm available. There go, there's Ripper Cheap. Oh, okay, so Lucy and Susan, they just found Aslan. I don't think that was addressed whatsoever. There was no moment of them being like, hey, we're gonna go try and find him whilst you go off in battle. Yeah, no, that was completely off screen. So that was just a bit random. Alright, so that fight has been incredibly cut short. Although now they're arrived, what they're going to do? Although Lucy, you need to use that healing liquid. Come on, you need to help the others. Okay, so the kids are fine. Caspian's fine. That main centaur is fine. And I can see some onions in the background. They're probably assisting more of their own. Almost as Aslan first meets Caspian. So is Caspian going to be king or not. Okay. Oh yeah, so yeah, Caspian is still going to be an additional king. Okay. Okay, yeah, so like the original, so Rippercheap is down, even though we've hardly seen much of him. Like he seemed to have like a um yeah, there was way more of him in the film, so just seeing that, yeah. Oh, and is his tail cut short as well? Oh, he looks like it. Yeah, it's like, oh no, oh no, tail. Although it's not affecting his balance like it was in the trilogy. Okay, so Aslan's asking him why he need a tail, and honor and glory to have a tail. Okay, so that's a different reason. So I guess he's explaining a bit more about what happened in battle, I think. How is the tail going to come back? Is it just going to be... I don't know, it's not come about yet. But not to mention, Rippercheap, did he speak about Aslan at all? Because he at least had that kind of anticipation in the film. Okay, so it looks like Rippercheap had to prove his worth and then get the tail. But, oh, in the trilogy, I was more sympathised by Rippercheap being like, oh, I'll give this sword to do this. But Aslan's like, oh no, you can have them both because you seem worthy. So yeah, but yeah, Rippercheap's tail is back and was done in the most 80s way and just very simple effects, with the low budget. Alright, so everyone's just casually sitting in the forest whilst but yeah, looks like everyone's very peace. Yeah, everyone's in peace, which is good. Yeah, because there's no Simon Raz. Oh, now they're higher up and back in that high point again. So yeah, all of that was just casually sold. So it was. I'm gonna have a look at number of pages because I feel like the film added a lot more run time. Because because if Lion Witch Wardrobe had to be in 6 parts, unless was the BBC adaptation for this particular one, did that just have to be one whole episode because they couldn't afford to do another 6 episodes? Is that what's happened? I can see that happening because Witch and Wardrobe is extremely iconic, but yeah, maybe they were just like overly cautious or told to be a lot more limited, just have it as a one film adaptation instead of having it another 6 parts, for instance. Yeah, is that why? Yeah, like it's just incredibly short, like a lot shorter. Okay, so apparently, oh, okay. But Lucy has been given no, sorry, Susan has been given probably a lot less here compared to the film adaptation, which is a real shame because I really liked what the BBC adaptation, introduced from time to time. But yeah, Peter and Susan are apparently too old. I don't know the reason why. It just feels like, because when I was younger, I thought, oh yeah, maybe it's like a school situation. You're like, oh, you're too old for school, let's go. But yeah, there isn't like more a reason for why they're like, oh no, you're too old to come back. It's a bit odd because because they're all grew up, later on in line with the wardrobe. So if they grew up a lot older then why weren't they, asked to leave Narnia then? Like, I don't understand. Oh, not mad. I'm just a bit puzzled. That's all. Now they mentioned Eustace again, so it looks like the other ones will be separated again. Ex-king. Oh yeah, Edmund doesn't have his torch at all in this version. um, so yeah, but yeah, now the trains arrived. Yeah, that was an extremely brief trip. I just felt like a lot of that happened in real time, most of it anyway. Oh, now they so Edmund and Lucy settled in the house. Oh my gosh, so they're already foreshadowing the Dawn Treader. There's Eustace. Oh, he looks like a piece of work. We'll see what he's like. So they're gonna do like a German cliffhanger. So Eustace thinks talk about Narnia is a game, to which okay. Oh god, he's really pompous. But he looks like he seems to be quite tough as well. Oh, he's a bit loud too. More loud in a more like brassy way, because Eustace was meanwhile in the trilogy he was timid despite efforts to be loud. Well, actually, I think his loudest was when he was getting scared by things. So yeah, wow, okay, so they're just automatically already going into the Dawn Treader, to which yeah, I suppose it's a cliffhanger to be like, oh, join us next time when they all go on the trip on the boat. Oh, that was a funny transition. So yeah, this is the EastEnders. Dun, 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 dun. No, so I got like completely wrong. Um, wow, okay, what a trip. Yeah, extremely short compared to the original. So I'm just going to play it back again once as I comment about this. So this may have answered a couple of bits and bobs that the trilogy didn't, and it may have simplified a couple of other bits and bobs, and having this being smaller in scale also means less of the when I was like trying to when I was lost with a couple of answers when watching the trilogy. But despite that, I still somewhat prefer the film version. I feel like it's just once again the pacing, the weight of some moments, the drama, the dramatic moments, the action. It's done a lot better in the trilogy. Although this version does have moments I like, such as Cornelius, he seems to be more on the forefront. The Badger's more prominent. Rip Cheap was definitely a lot better from the trilogy. They tried to give him like a likable personality, but yeah, I think it's fine what it is, because Rip Cheap is a character with some more screen time anyway. Yeah, because I think when I write in my stories, I kind of want my characters to be as significant as possible. But with with this, they trying to go for a larger abstract cast, and Rip Cheap's just the youthful one, I suppose. Despite the limited screen time. Also, I just suddenly realised practicing on this log at the 12 Marines. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Can help with a couple of techniques. And so yeah, what else is there? Oh, time for book two TV comparisons. Yeah, let's have a look. And oh yeah, let's have a look at the. Actually, let's try the trivia first. Prince Caspian, 1989. Trivia, and also like the kids, Caspian's a lot more different. But yeah, I don't know which version I prefer, because I quite like that version. And he's a lot more of a younger royal, and quite youthful, and he still has a lot of will within him. But yeah, the trilogy I think does a lot more, especially yeah. Um, okay. to Ghostlight at the same time as this production schedules are arranged. Okay. So the adaptation rights to the Italian Narnia series at the time he absolutely despised. Oh yeah, we already know about him not being too keen on the BBC version. Oh, hang on, this is the same trivia I came across. Oh, I know, it says 20 more. Okay. So this series, unlike the predecessor, the sequel adapted 2 volumes of Chronicles of Narnia. Oh yeah, so that explains the Dawn Treader cliffhanger at the end. Okay. That is Irishman's Messiah is England. Dawn Treader is the most Irish influenced. Okay. Echoes Irish water. Okay. And then some myths. Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, so the name Aslan is a. Let's just read it for. Aslan is a Turkish word meaning lion. Okay. So yeah, that's how CS got that idea. Then it's just a couple of other facts. Voyage to Dawn Treader takes place 3 years after Caspian. So if that's the case in the BBC adaptation, then yeah, the way we just time skipped is just a bit too mundane. Just something quick. Yeah, that's the one kind of problem I had with the BBC version because Caspian. There's a lot of these weird like time jumps, like them, like often massive gaps, and it has left me a bit head scratching in a couple of places. Just instances of move and now move again, and look, Susan and Lucy have found Aslan despite not being discussed, unless I missed anything. But that's it just felt a bit and also the Queen didn't have much in the probably just as thin here compared to. Actually no, the trilogy gave her a bit more. Seeing her look after the new son and arming herself with the crossbow, and also having to leave with the main military dude in the trilogy. So yeah, she was given a bit more too. The nurse is just casually explained here, and I just felt like it's weirdly added fluff to the story. And Mraz once again he's different. If he's I think thanks to the extra screen time in the trilogy, he does have a lot more layers to him. Not to mention going from like a council person and then becoming king, it adds more to the transition. As the Tamarians are like building up over time. With the bridge and I guess in the trilogy, having the that castle battle at night, that's achieved a lot of things like Peter and Caspian having a bit of a fallout, and Caspian going for his own choices, trying to find some answers and get hold of Cornelius, and the Narnia numbers going down further. I can see why that was like how it's a cool original idea, but why the novel and the BBC adaptation didn't really do that. Because this is kind of simplified too, because they have like one run in, which I like the idea of structurally. Sorry, that was a wire end. Sorry about that. And then it goes on to the duel, but yeah, there's just a lot of instances where like I know it's like a cheaper children's production, but like I said, it just I didn't really like feel the urgency and like a proper feel for how hidden Narnia is. Because I think like whilst the trilogy could have added more. Oh, actually, no, the trilogy really tried. They explained many viewpoints of the Narnians. There's some that take it really seriously, and Warwick Davis's character, he was like, we found this shortcut, and I think the BBC adaptation wasn't the same reason for why that situation happened. Although we didn't see the White Witch, it was just because that circle that the werewolf formed, that must have disappeared off screen somewhat. I'm not sure. not to mention, look at watching it now. Caspian has this dream where he wins against a soldier, and Miraz seems to be pleased. Is that I guess that's like a way of showing that Caspian was, looking forward to more time around the castle despite some hardships from the uncle. To which he has a nice idea, but not really expanded upon, and not to mention, there's not much tension after. Because because Miraz was like quite forthright with Caspian during their first scene together, but yeah, that kind of tension and relationship that doesn't maintain. That's just once again another thing that the trilogy kind of did better. And yeah, Lucy was given a lot more agency, and I guess what I do prefer, it utilised more of the idea of Lucy being the only one to see Aslan, and it's kind of simplified, which made me help me understand it more. But I just felt like that's all it was. Well, it did try to carry over the idea of her not being believed, to which I guess like the wardrobe situation was one thing, like he literally had to be there to see it, but with the not seeing Aslan and just trying to figure out what was happening, and Lucy being like, wait, hang on, I think I can see him, and they're like, wait, what? So I can somewhat understand that, but I feel they shouldn't be as harsh with her because, as Lucy's said in the previous, film, she doesn't lie. So, but maybe the kids tried to believe her, but they're like, we just can't see him like you do. So, yeah, yeah, um, and Peter and Miraz, yeah, that duel between them, like, I can somewhat see why Peter would be a bit scared of Miraz, but for him to run off and cause havoc, even a fire, and then then that's what facilitated the battle. I just, yeah, I just don't know what to make of it. I just, I don't want to laugh at it because, oh no, no, it's just, I just don't know what to make of it because once again the trilogy did it better because they stuck with the duel, and both did their own different approaches we've had discussed. Like for instance, Miraz has been surrounded by other slightly higher up figures, saying, oh, maybe you should do it, or maybe you should because of the it's like tradition and that, and then that argument kind of carries over a couple of times, and then the bloke cleverly had, well, I don't know, I think he must have retrieved Caesar's arrow from the library or something, in the books in the castle's library, that was introduced very early in the film. It seemingly he picked that up, and him being like, oh no, they shot Miraz, we should fight at them. So yeah, a couple of like bits and bobs that should have been tweaked, but for that to be the case and then facilitate the battle, that does. I felt like I kind of preferred that because I just felt like in this BBC version they fought, then they because of the fight going a bit all over the place, and also Peter kind of won fair and square. So why then start to battle each other? Was it because of the fire happening and it's just made everyone go a bit haywire against one another? To which, yeah, that's it's a bit of a weak reason if that's the case. And yeah, a lot of these fights are very brief. Not a lot of memorability. Like there's some moments I like. I feel like my favorite battle is probably in the middle when Caspian's almost like leading the Narnians he just recently met, and then they had the run in with the Tambourines. Like that, I quite like on paper, despite the really odd editing moment where the badger's like, oh, you fought enough, but then in the following cut, it's like literally them going back to them at the end of the battle, and I was just like, what on earth happened in between? And also, like, what was like the success and cost kind of aspect to it? I don't know. Yeah, I just wondered if those creating this adaptation really had to like squeeze everything in. Like, I can see how a story like this could be simplified, especially because I would easily be able to find ways to simplify like the film version, for instance, because like I said, there's probably a way to cut off the night fight, as you could say, at the castle, whilst maintaining the important bits and bobs that could be placed elsewhere, but yeah, yeah. I know adaptations can be tricky, like I said, when shrinking everything down, but yeah, I think a lot of well, actually, no. I think a lot of it is like the best they can do, but at the same time, Edmund, the only thing he did was send a message through. That was his most significant moment. I know that the trilogy didn't do an awful lot for him either, but also Edmund having that minor duel with Trumpkin, that had like a lot more build up and a lot more of, oh, this is why we're doing it. But in this adaptation, it just went straight to it, to which I just a bit caught off guard by it. I'll looking ahead, I'll try and spot a reason, but in the background whilst I'm continuing. But yeah, I guess we'll wait and see. And not to mention the trilogy, with everyone reunited to the castle, seeing like, oh, this is the castle, and seeing the weapons, and not to mention being like, oh, there'll probably be no Mr. Thomas and no beavers. Like that was a scene quite well, but this once again it's just oversimplified it and not given them a lot of weight. And yeah, oh yeah, but as I was saying, yeah, Edmund didn't have an awful lot in the trilogy version of the Prince Caspian, but I liked some of the bits and bobs, after the message, acknowledging how the kings and queen side of things was a bit confusing. And hang on, oh, so that's why the draw was happening. So okay, so yes, sorry about earlier. So Trumpkin's like, so he didn't really. So I guess he minorly acknowledged about how all of them are still kids. But now Edmund then said, "Suppose you don't believe we won the battle against the White Witch?" And then they're like, "We'll show him." And then, oh, so that's why they're battling him. The practice fight. Okay. There must be some additional context for um um for why they did so it's almost like a way to get to Drunken on the side, to which, okay. I feel like that might be simpler there compared to the trilogy, because in the trilogy version, once Drunken met the others, yeah, I think they just had like a quick of a practice draw, almost like for Edmund, because they didn't mention the White Witch at all. I guess the BBC version kind of did that aspect better. But anyway, I was just saying, oh yeah, so yeah, sorry, we're going back and forth between moments. So yeah, Edmund in the trilogy, yeah, he had the torch and a couple of funny moments, especially that moment with the crossbow, and yeah, not a lot of significant moments, but I still felt like it was way better. Not to mention, Susan in the trilogy was at her best in Prince Caspian, and once again, yeah, Susan's just been given like essentially like nothing, because like I guess she looked after Lucy whilst they both go and find Aslan, but all of that was off screen, so yeah, yeah, I know I'm being a bit harsh, because it can infer, the likes of, oh, this the lady's just simply went off to find Aslan whilst all of this this duel later leads to carnage. I don't think that anyone predicted. Um, so yeah, and also what I was also saying. So in the BBC version, so they had a debate more of just simply choosing whether or not to, and how Miraz is worried about being seen as a coward, and it's made him quite angry at the soldiers. To which I guess it is kind of neat to have the soldiers, get given a be allowed to have a kind of chat like that with a king. So it's different. I like it, but yeah, I just felt like the trilogy, did that kind of argument better. With if it was the right decision to do this duel or not. Not to mention the trilogy also did, because even though Miraz and Peter almost had nothing to do with one another, but I do like the exchange they have, during the duel. Yeah, that I kind of like. Yeah, the duel was far better in the trilogy too. Not just because of the certain bits and bobs, but yeah, I've already explained why that's the case. I guess I prefer the Professor in this version as well. He looks like he's given her a lot more to do, and a bit more of a relationship with Caspian too, actually. So that I'll give credit to that. Although I have to say the castle feels extremely small in scale in this version too. Yeah, I just don't feel like. I just feel like it gives me the vibe of, oh, they just managed to rule this certain part of the area. But in the trilogy, they're like, oh, they completely took over at a point where they thought everything was nearly extinct. Like, do you remember when they had like drunk him, like be, shown to the council, and how much of a shock it was because they haven't seen any Narnias at all, because of how much they've overtaken the land. That was a moment like that adds a lot more weight to the status quo. So yeah. So yeah, not to mention Caspian also had way more of a, because I like how it's a different twist to have Caspian and Peter to get on, almost considering the limited time left. But yeah, Caspian, because Caspian didn't exactly interact with everyone in the trilogy, but once again, I like had a shared an arc with Pete, or at least a dynamic that needs to develop over time. With the learning to trust one another now and knowing their place, and the bits and bobs of Susan as well. Like, I know because I talked about how it was quite rushed from some places, but at least it was something, like a different dynamic. Although, not gonna lie, after seeing the cliffhanger for the BBC version, I'm really interested to see what Eustace is like. But yeah, they're already giving us a pretty interesting rivalry, to which we'll see what it's like. It seems to be a bit more heated, a bit more genuine, actually. Yeah, because Edmund and Eustace was a tad petty from time to time in the trilogy. So yeah, with all of this being a bit heated, yeah, I'm quite interested to see how it goes. And not to mention the Dawn Treader, it's quite well made as far as I can see. Did they actually film it like across the sea? I'm not sure. So yeah, I've talked about all sorts. Oh wait, no, hang on. We haven't gone to comparisons. I nearly forgot. Yeah, that's like the interesting part. So Narnia movie book differences. All right, so let's go on to the Caspian version. Yeah, I hate it when Google says all differences in character and plot, but I'm just like, no, I want the specifics. Yeah, because I couldn't find the specifics of Polar Express not long ago. BBC serial Prince Caspian, and there's only one difference, literally. Okay, what is it? Oh, okay, no, it's literally nothing. It's just one about the Dawn Treader. Lucy did not go barefoot as part of the journey, neither did Corikin, and okay, that's barely a difference. Yeah, I felt like the trilogy had way more interesting differences between the film and the book. So yeah, I think that's my take on it. So yeah, maybe sound like I'm a bit unfair to this version of the adaptation, but like I said, there's the lower budget. They must have been told to make it smaller, and it looks like the Voyage Dawn Treader is almost like a part two to this, which is kind of a cool angle. But book wise, there's actually, oh, what was it called? No, the horse and the no. Oh no, so maybe the Dawn Treader was after Caspian. Okay, yeah, because the horse and the boy was in between Butcher Wardrobe and Caspian, and not to mention they've done the BBC done an adaptation of the Silvered Chair. That too is after the Dawn Treader, isn't it? So yeah. So yeah, like I said, despite the limitations, and definitely a good few bits and bobs which they put more of an emphasis of, and some moments when they provide it in a good way. One or two things acknowledged that the trilogy didn't do. But yeah, like I said, yeah, I think I think there's a lot of bits and bobs which they could have done better. Like how they frame the fighting, and whilst the trilogy didn't really build up that moment between the witches' goons, at least I like it. But not to mention I don't I don't know, because the trilogy also made it subtle when Warwick Davis, because he was already like seen to be quite menacing, and so when he's like, oh, there is this shortcut, so you like, oh, so that's why he's kind of the way he is. But in the BBC version, he's already quite malicious from the get go, far more blatantly, at a point where it's not as much of a shock. But oh yeah, because in the trilogy, you could probably guess that he was on edge because of the status quo, whilst everyone else is just trying to work it out over time. But all this time it was a bit schemy. But in this case, in this version, I'm just like, yeah, you're not friendly at all. It's not a bad thing, but I kind of like that kind of like mystery that the trilogy did for that character. So was there any other life differences? Well, there was no water entity at the end, so but yeah, obviously the 80s couldn't do that. I like the centaur effect though. That it did well enough with that, and also having the giant in the battle. That's quite a feat. Yeah, I can see why the trilogy didn't want to go for a giant. I can see why they would have been like take it down like quite easily in that, because they can't exactly hide easily. So I feel like, yeah, there's a reason to that. And so yeah, just it's like a rather simplified version, but it's I still liked it. It's like a very storybook, which were like story, to which I still thoroughly enjoy. So yeah, I'm going around in circles. I've already explained what's happened with the lot. So yeah, I'll see you in the Dawn Treader.